Hi, my name is Lily Jordan, and this is the story of how my own brother and his wife tried to push me out of the very home I helped build. The home that carries my blood, my sweat, my memories. And let me tell you right now, when family betrayal hits you, it cuts deeper than anything else. I want to take you back to 2012. I was 20 years old. Back then, my life was simple. Maybe even a little naive. My brother, let's call him Daniel, was 22 at the time. He had just moved to another city to attend university. He rented a small house from an elderly woman. It wasn't anything glamorous, just a modest little place that he shared with 5 other students. I remember visiting him once and thinking, how on earth do 6 people live in this tiny place? But somehow it worked. 2 years later, in 2014, my life took a turn. I decided to change my major and move to the same city. And as fate would have it, Daniel's housemates slowly started to move out. By the time I was ready to move, there was just one student left living there. So, Daniel asked me if I wanted to move in, and I did. It felt like a fresh chapter for both of us. For the next 2 years, it was just me and my brother living together. We weren't perfect siblings. We had our arguments, we had our differences, but we also had this strong sense of partnership. Like, this is us against the world. And then something unexpected happened. The old lady who owned the house told us she was moving to America, and she wanted to sell. She asked if we were interested in buying it. The price? Honestly, it was too good to pass up. I remember sitting with Daniel, looking at each other, and just saying yes without overthinking. And just like that, the house became ours. Not his, not mine. Ours. That house wasn't just bricks and walls. It was the place where we shared late-night meals, where we studied, where we dreamed. It was our first real achievement together. Fast forward to 2018. Daniel met Olivia. At first, she seemed sweet, a little shy even. I remember thinking, oh, she's nice. I'm glad my brother found someone. 2 years later, in 2020, they got married, and Olivia moved into the house with us. I'll admit, it was strange at first. Suddenly, it wasn't just me and my brother anymore. There was another person in our shared space. But you know what? I told myself it would be fine. After all, we were all adults. And most of the time, we weren't even home. We were all busy working, studying, living our lives. So I adjusted. Maybe I gave up some personal space. Maybe things felt a little different. But it wasn't the end of the world. Or at least, that's what I thought. 2 months ago, Daniel came to me. He said, Lily, we need to have this talk. Now, you know when someone says that, it's never good news. At first, he tried to sugarcoat it. He told me I was too old to be living with my older brother. He said it would be better for me if I moved out and started my own independent life. I sat there in silence, just letting him speak. But then, the truth slipped out. He and Olivia were planning to have children. Not just one child, at least 3. And apparently, they wanted to redecorate my room into a nursery for their future kid. I was stunned. When I finally found my voice, I said, absolutely not. This house is mine too. You don't get to decide that I just leave. He immediately shifted gears and said, fine, I'll buy your share. You really need to move out, Lily. That's when my patience broke. I looked him dead in the eye and said, if I move out, I'll take everything I bought with me. And that means about 70% of the kitchen, the bathroom, the living room, basically everything in the common areas. Let's see how you and Olivia manage then. Daniel's face turned red with anger. He snapped at me, told me I was being unreasonable. The conversation ended in a heated silence. But here's the thing. A week later, he actually apologized. He said he was sorry for pushing me. He said we could forget the whole thing. For a brief moment, I thought things were back to normal. But I was wrong. So wrong. Last Friday, I was home alone. The doorbell rang. I opened it, and there was my father, standing at the door with this look of determination. He said, "Lily, I'm here to help you pack your things." Let's go back to the family house. I was so confused. I asked him what he was talking about, and that's when he dropped the bombshell. He told me that he and Daniel had been talking about this for months. According to my brother, everything was already sorted out. I couldn't believe it. My own brother had gone behind my back, involved our father, and tried to push me out like I was some unwanted guest in my own home. I looked my dad in the eyes and said, "I'm not going anywhere." Go home, and he did. But that wasn't the end. When Daniel and Olivia came back, all hell broke loose. We had the biggest fight we've ever had in our lives. They called me selfish. They said I was ruining their dreams of starting a family. They painted me as the villain in this story. And you know what hurt the most? It wasn't just their words. It was the betrayal. The fact that my brother, the one person who should have had my back, had been plotting against me for months. After that fight, I sat in my room, staring at the walls that held so many memories. And I realized something. This was never about money. This was never about space. This was about respect, about boundaries, about family. The moment Daniel brought our father into this, the moment he tried to shove me out without even asking for my side, that's the moment our relationship broke. I don't want his money. I don't care how much he's willing to pay for my share. I don't care if Olivia pays for groceries or utilities. None of that matters. What matters is that this is my home too, and I will not be treated like an outsider in my own house. So let me be clear. I'm not moving out. Not now. Not ever. Daniel doesn't get to dictate my life. Olivia doesn't get to erase me, and my father doesn't get to pack me up like I'm some piece of furniture. This house was built on trust between me and my brother, and if he's going to betray that trust, then he's the one who should reconsider where he lives. Because me, I'm not going anywhere. So, am I the selfish one here? Or am I just standing up for what's rightfully mine? Maybe you'll say family should compromise. Maybe you'll say I should just let them have their way. But you know what? Sometimes compromise is just another word for being walked over. And I refuse to let that happen. My name is Lily Jordan. This is my story. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Sometimes even family will try to take what's yours. And when that happens, you have to be strong enough to say no. Because home isn't just where you live. It's where you stand your ground. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more powerful tales of justice, resilience, and real-life battles, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below. Your support helps me bring more stories like this to life.